Hey everybody, today I was wanting to talk a little bit about winterizing a vehicle because I'm a little late, but I like to go through before the winter, but it's already been a little cold, but we haven't had too bad of weather yet, so I'm really not that late. But I like to go through things and I want to check out a lot of different things and do anything that I need to do at that point, which I have a list over here that I'm going to go through. But the purpose of me going through this and checking everything and winterizing, as I call it, I just want to make sure, first of all, that the vehicle's safe to drive in the winter, and to make sure that it's running as good as it can run. So that way, especially if you have like family, wife, kids, husband, whatever, you don't want to end up out broke down with your car not running, out cold, heat not working, anything, and you end up stranded. And a lot of people have AAA or call towing service or whatever, but nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through dealing with that, I should say. Now, so what I do is I like to go through and do different things. Now, some of these things, as I'll explain as I go through, only apply for certain vehicles or certain things. Is when I go through, we'll talk more about them. But this is just a list of things that I'm planning on doing today. I don't think I'm going to shoot the video of me doing everything. I may shoot a couple videos, different videos of doing this, but these are my plans for today. I'm going to go through and I'm going to check everything, and I'll try to explain them as I go along, but I'm going to take you over to my little whiteboard here and we'll take a look at it. All right, this is it. This is my little checklist. Now, this isn't the end all be all of things you need to check your vehicle or whatever. This is just a checklist for me that I'm about to go through, and so I thought I'd share it with you. Now, this is in no particular order. These just came to me as I was writing them down. So we'll start off here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check all fluids. And with that, I mean like checking motor oil, your antifreeze level, transmission fluid, brake fluid, differential fluid maybe at some points, power steering, etc. And all I'm going to do is just check and make sure that all those fluids are at the levels they need to be. Now, the motor oil, I'm not going to check that because I'm actually going to change my motor oil. So I just wrote that down because you may not be, if you are looking for some ideas or some different ways, maybe you're not planning on changing your motor oil, so you should probably check it. Now, that was number two. I'm going to change different oil. Now, I'm actually going to change the differential oil on this truck, on my truck, because I don't know when it last was changed or anything, and it's not going to hurt anything, and I may make a separate video on that. I'm probably not going to do that today, but I'm going to do that at some point here soon. And another thing I'm going to do, now this may not apply to you as far as what vehicle you're driving or whatever, but with my truck, I'm going to go through and I'm going to grease all of my suspension parts, my tie rod ends, or my upper lower ball joints, etc., and my idler arm and everything. I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to grease everything. Anything can be greased, I'm going to go ahead and pack it with some new grease and get that all ready. And now this is the thing here for me. I say check heat because my heat in my truck actually doesn't work. So it works, but if you know anything, because this is a 96 Chevy truck, now they had a lot of problems with the heater switches and things of that nature, and I'm not sure if it's actually the heater switch, and I'm going to do a video on that too. I'm actually going to try changing my blower motor resistor, and I'm going to see if that works. I've already got one, so it won't take me very long. I'll do a video on that too. I'm going to go through, I'm going to check the air pressure on all my tires, and I'm going to make sure it's about where it's supposed to be. I'm going to rotate. Now, my truck actually needs an alignment, which I have wrote down in another spot, my alignment, and I haven't ever got it aligned, so I'm having a little bit of wear on my front tires, so I'm actually going to rotate my tires, but I'm going to wait on that until I'm ready to go get the alignment that way, because I got brand new 35-inch mud claws on there, and I don't want to ruin them prematurely anyway. I'm going to check the torque on all my tires, but I'm actually not going to check it. But when I replace them, I will make sure they're torqued. Now, if I wasn't going to, I would go through with my little torque wrench and I would make sure that all the lug nuts were secured. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my battery terminals off, and I'm going to clean my battery posts with a wire brush, and I'm going to put it back down, make sure they're tight and everything. 4-wheel drive. Now, I replaced the transfer case on this truck. This truck actually had a push button transfer case, but the transfer case I got is actually for a floor shifter. Now, I don't even have the floor shifter for that, so I would have to run a new floor shifter up. But if I do need the 4-wheel drive at some point, I can get down there and manually do it. So, excuse me, I actually need to put my front drive shaft back on, because as I was driving one day, my front drive shaft, it was stuck in 4-wheel drive and I wasn't aware of it. I was on the highway and it spun my front drive shaft off, busted my transfer case, and that's why I ended up with the new transfer case. I'm gonna hook my OBD2 scanner up, and I'm gonna check for any codes it may be reading, which I know it's reading an ABS lights on now. I don't know what that is. I replaced the wheel hubs but they were cheaper wheel hubs, so it's probably the connection to the front. Clean change air filter. Now, you may not necessarily have to change your air filter, but you should at least pull it out, blow it out with some air, and put it back in, or replace it, whatever you want to do. That can make a big difference on your fuel consumption on your car, truck, SUV, whatever. Fuel additive. Now, some people may not like adding anything to their fuel or whatever, but I like putting some seed foam in it and help try to clean out some of that gunk. There's the alignment I talk about. And here's another thing, serpentine belt. My truck is squeaking. Now, I was having problems throwing my serpentine belt for a while, so I know the serpentine belt's less than a year old, so I don't think it's a serpentine belt. I think there's a pulley somewhere that's bad, but when I do check that, I may do a video how to find out if it's your pulley, your belt, or whatever. But what I mean by check your serpentine belt is you could just look at it and look down there. You'll look for any type of cracks or dry rotting or anything, and if it's going bad, you should replace it. If it snaps, you're going to be stranded. And that's the main thing that I'm doing all this for, is for safety and for dependability during the winter, because I don't want to be stranded anywhere because I was too lazy to go through this or whatever. Now, I like doing stuff myself. You may want to go and pay somebody to do it or whatever, but if you're watching this, then I assume you like to do things like this for yourself. Now, oil changes and stuff like that, you could go get done pretty cheap in different places, but I've used full synthetic in mine. And to get a full synthetic oil change, you could actually do it cheaper yourself. And it doesn't take very long. It takes you about 10-15 minutes. I might do a video on that too, because I've seen a lot of people do videos on them, and they do it the way that they like to do it or whatever, but there's some certain things that you should do and you don't want to overdo when you're doing your oil. Main thing is, well, we'll go into that if I do a video on it. But that's going to be it on this. It's just a little quick video going through some things that I'm about to do. And like I said, I may make some videos of actually doing them things. So if you need to know how, then you can always check my channel. And for any of these videos, or you can search YouTube, there's plenty of videos on all of this, I'm sure, on YouTube. So if you like this, and if you like my channel, like the different things I like to talk about and do or whatever, do me a favor and subscribe, hit a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you feel about it. Either way, it doesn't matter. If you like it, then I need to know. If you don't like it, then I also need to know. So it's not going to hurt my feelings. Or if you want to leave a comment, tell me something or anything. All right, we'll see you the next time.